Tonight, Premier Scott Moe puts more money forward for wildfire evacuees. Band parents strike a chord during their meeting with Regina School Board trustees. And we get an update on the riders' injured list ahead of this weekend's game.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, June 11th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. Premier Scott Moe says wildfire evacuees will be getting more money. It comes as some evacuees say they're struggling to buy necessities and after the province's ombudsman slammed the government's response to the emergency. Aaliyah Marco Omene has our top story.
Evacuated residents of an evacuated community will receive a $500 financial assistance emergency investment.
Premier Scott Moe says every adult will get the money no matter how long they've been displaced, and it will be paid out through their community. Moe says he's been in constant contact with community leaders and evacuees and is aware of the challenges they're facing.
We have realized that there are bottlenecks in the systems that we have to support those families.
This all comes a day after the province's ombudsman criticized the government's response to the wildfire crisis. But NDP leader Carla Beck says the province has still failed the people of northern Saskatchewan.
There has been so much leadership shown by people across this province. But unfortunately, that same leadership has not been shown by our provincial government.
Meanwhile, the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says more evacuees will be able to head home. Evacuation orders have already been lifted for places like Pelican Narrows and Wildfire, with more expected soon.
As the repatriation efforts continue, we will work with the community leaders to support those that are being supported by SBSA to safely return their communities over the coming days.
On Thursday, residents of La Ronge will also be able to return home after more than a week since they were forced to flee.
Right now I'm a little skeptic, kind of paranoid to see how it is, because I don't know what's going on.
Just sad to see some homes go to fire, but we're happy to go home. Our house survived.
Aaliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
Meanwhile, some small business owners in the north say they are struggling to stay afloat. The president of the La Ronge and District Chamber of Commerce says businesses are emotionally and financially drained with no help from the province. Matthew Maurer joined the Saskatchewan NDP at a news conference calling on Premier Scott Moe to provide emergency supports to wildfire-affected businesses. Maurer says many of them rely on tourism and the financial toll is mounting as fires burn.
Our grocery stores that have no food and need to restock. We have business owners who stuck around to be providing those essential services, and they're burnt out, they're exhausted.
The NDP wants several things to help business owners, including direct grants, tax deferrals, and no interest on tax arrears. Many of the affected businesses have been closed for 2 weeks. Many of the wildfires are threatening those businesses as well as homes and cabins, but some people are ignoring evacuation orders, staying behind to protect their properties, including a group of neighbors in Narrow Hills Provincial Park. Aaron Collins has their story.
It's the kind of view worth fighting for. And at Lower Fishing Lake this spring, that's just what happened. Like many parts of northern Saskatchewan, this park under threat from fast-moving wildfires. On the ground, a group of locals staying behind, digging in to beat back the flames.
When things got close to home here, it was all hands on deck to come here and save the cabin.
We're still fighting here. It's right at Rangers Beach now.
A handful of men fighting a wall of fire.
Dad and I, and then 3 other cabin owners, Rick, Lenny, and Greg.
The blaze just a stone's throw from their cabins, history repeating itself. This family fought a similar fire along the same road nearly 50 years ago.
Grandpa's been gone for quite a few years, and Dad said, you know, I feel okay, I feel Grandpa here. Like, he was with Dad fighting it in '77, and he said, Grandpa's helping us out too.
Now, there were losses in this firefight. A forest scorched, the local hall gone, but every cabin saved.
A lot of people would probably ask you, why did you do this?
Yeah, get that question a lot. I guess it's just for the decades and decades of memories that are in these places, all these cabins. It's like a family in here, I feel. Like it's, yeah, everybody's got each other's back, and if we weren't able to be here, I know that other people would have come up.
The fire that came through here, just one of hundreds burning across Canada.
There's places in northern Ontario, northern Alberta, northern BC, all burning right now. And you hear of all the other locals that are sticking around. So it's not just us. There's so many people right now that are fighting for their own houses and their own communities and forests.
But for now, this fight is over. This place safe. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Lower Fishing Lake, Saskatchewan.
The Canadian Red Cross and the provincial government are warning of a scam targeting wildfire evacuees. Spam emails are circulating that falsely claim to be from the Red Cross. They request people provide their banking information, but the Red Cross says these are fake messages and that it will not ask for any banking details to process payments. If you receive one of these emails, do not respond or share any personal information. Premier Scott Moe says people should immediately report the emails to the RCMP or local law enforcement. The father of Saskatoon's most recent homicide victim is speaking out about his son. Police found the remains of 31-year-old Chad Romanski west of the city on June 4th. Terry Romanski says there was more to his son than his addictions and sudden death. Dan Zakreski brings us that story.
This is how Terry Romanski remembers his son, healthy, happy with his baby girl. But he also knew his son had a darker side, one that led to dark places.
Just because of Chad's lifestyle, it lasted a while, and the addictions. Like he had an addiction problem, and you know, he was a great guy though. He was just the wrong path and the wrong people, right?
A wrong path that ultimately led to here, just outside the city off Highway 7, in a stand of trees and a shallow grave. Saskatoon police found Chad Romanski's remains here 3 weeks after he was reported missing by his family. His dad came out here to the scene after getting the news.
It was tough, but I needed to see from my own eyes, right? So I needed some kind of closure. And just me and my brother went out there. My brother came with us, and it was just. Yeah.
Did you say any words at the site?
Yeah. Told my boy I loved him. And that he was at peace now. He wasn't in pain anymore.
Police say Romanski is the city's 5th homicide of the year. They were back at the scene this week, searching the woods for clues. Terry Romanski says Chad bounced between sobriety and abuse for years. He had dreams of working with his dad, raising his daughter, and he talked openly about his struggles.
Dad, I wake up in the morning and it's not what I want. I miss my sober life. But sometimes it's just too much to come back from. It's just, me and him talked multiple times in the last month about getting the proper help, and it's not that he didn't want it, he just couldn't do it. There's a difference there, you know. It's a big difference, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Chad Romanski was cremated on Wednesday. His dad is taking his remains back to Alberta. Dan Zakreski, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government says it is rolling back all of the measures it implemented in response to the threat of U.S. tariffs. That means the province will now return to its standard procurement process. In March, Premier Scott Moe announced Saskatchewan would reduce or eliminate U.S. procurement. This news comes as the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority confirmed it is ending its prohibition on purchasing American alcoholic drinks. In both cases, the provincial government says it wants to provide more choice for people and businesses in Saskatchewan. Well, this well-known steel sculpture of a bison on Regina's Scarth Street Mall will soon be on the move. It is being removed so it doesn't get damaged during upcoming construction, and it will also be getting some TLC to help preserve it. It won't be moved for a little while, though, not until late 2026, and it'll eventually end up in a new location, still to be determined. Stay with us. We have more news, and Helena Mahalik has her forecast when we come back. Welcome back. Parents representing students in Regina Public Schools' elementary band program met with school board trustees Tuesday. It comes as several band teachers are being reassigned because of budget constraints. But supporters of the band program made their presence known even before the meeting began. Over 50 musicians showed up on the lawn of the school board office. They played songs as vehicles passed by. They're protesting Regina Public Schools' decision to cut about a third of its elementary band teaching positions. The division says it's because of a budget deficit and more money needs to go to classroom complexity, so those band teachers are needed elsewhere. The parental delegation tells trustees they don't want the cuts to be reversed, rather paused, until a consultant they've hired can review the program and solutions can be discussed with the division. John Benham is that consultant. He's from Minnesota and has helped save school music programs across North America. He doesn't think this issue is exclusively financial.
They're stating, along with cutting the program, nobody's going to lose a job. Well, if they're not going to lose a job, how are we going to save any money?
Benham says one solution could be integrating band into arts education classes.
So the answer is right there, even in the Ministry of Education plan. It's just we need to do something in this district to facilitate that.
Trustee Brandon Shea Mutala says he's heard the parents' concerns, but he says the cuts were initially supposed to be steeper.
When we sat down and we got our first numbers for the budget, as a board, we sent them back and said we have to do better. So from the beginning, we have been fighting.
Mutala says the cuts represent less than 20% of the division's current deficit, and board chair Adam Hicks reiterated band is not the only area being cut this year.
8 of the 9 years that I've been on this board, we've had to look at cuts every single year. I wish and I hope for 1 year where we could actually talk about dreaming a little bit.
Hicks says he welcomes Benham's review and trustees will consider the parents' request. He hopes to speak with them before the board votes on its budget later this month.
I'm excited that they're not making any final decisions like right this moment, and that we have a bit of opportunity to work together, potentially with some more collaboration.
A glimmer of hope for the future of music education. And weather specialist Helena Mahalik joining us now, and not too bad of a June day out there, Helena.
Yeah, not too bad, Ethan, but here in Saskatoon, we're still kind of feeling the effects of the widespread smoke coming in from the north. Let's take a look at where some of the air quality advisories are in the province. So as we can see, southern Saskatchewan has air quality warnings in place, as well as central Saskatchewan, and air quality statements are in effect for the north for places like La Ronge and Pelican Narrows. But the north has had a few days of rainfall, bringing the danger level for new wildfires down. However, the extreme conditions are still present, especially in the southwestern parts of the province. We are going to see the smoke continue to spread over the next day and a half, continuing to spread around southern Saskatchewan and parts of central Saskatchewan, as well as into the north, especially the eastern parts around La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows. We are seeing a 30% chance of some showers with the risk of a thunderstorm, especially in the southwest around Swift Current. In the coming days, rainfall will continue. Thursday, we're going to see another chance of rainfall in the southwest around Swift Current with a chance of thunderstorms. Friday, that's going to move to the La Ronge area. We know rainfall is definitely needed in that part of the province, and we're going to see a few days of rainfall there. Friday evening, we're going to see that spread into the southwest for areas around Kindersley. And into the weekend, we are seeing that rain continue, especially for La Ronge and even into parts of the northern grain belt areas around Prince Albert and the southwest in the Swift Current area. We saw our wind die down a little bit Wednesday. For the rest of the week, we're not going to see extreme wind gusts up to 40 kilometers an hour Thursday in south and central Saskatchewan. And this 40 kilometers an hour wind gust continues Friday into the day and evening, especially for Saskatoon area. We have seen temperatures hovering around 25 degrees. We will see the sun come out tomorrow, Thursday, and temperatures will continue staying around 25 degrees. Friday, we will see a little bit of a cloudy day, and rainfall may make things feel just a little bit cooler. But despite the rain, as we get into the weekend, Saturday, temperatures are jumping up to around 27 degrees, so just below that 30-degree mark. So things are definitely feeling a little bit warmer in the province, Ethan, as we head into our weekend and look into the next week ahead.
Yeah, definitely hard to believe. June almost half over. Where has it gone?
I don't know, and we've seen so much going on with the weather that it's just flown by.
Yeah, it really has been a whirlwind this last little while. Helena, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ethan.
Well, several world leaders will be in Alberta this Sunday for the start of the G7 summit. But the guest list is not restricted to those from the 7 countries in the group. The heads of India and Saudi Arabia are also invited, and that's put the Carney government on the defensive. Olivia Stefanovic explains why.
Hi, sir. Why are we inviting Modi and MBS to the...
As the Prime Minister prepares to host international leaders next week in Kananaskis, Alberta, Mark Carney's G7 guest list is facing criticism, even within his own caucus.
It is a damaging thing because we Canadians are known in the world as caring and compassionate and people who love human rights.
Carney privately met this morning with about a dozen Liberal MPs who pushed back against invitations Carney sent to Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, although he's not coming, and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, both accused of human rights violations.
And the killing of a Canadian citizen.
This will be Modi's first trip here, since his government was accused of killing Hardeep Singh Nijjar and targeting other Indian dissidents in Canada.
It's not a good idea, but now he's invited. We have to move forward.
Liberal MPs say Carney can press Modi to stop his government's interference in Canada, while also using the visit to send a message to U.S. President Donald Trump.
At this time of crisis, we need to be able to collaborate.
There are opportunities for Canadian businesses from around the world, and India is a big part of that.
Critics say the thaw in relations comes with a price.
This government has consistently and very clearly chosen profits and the economy over human rights.
I think this is a betrayal of not just our community, but of Canadian values.
It's a difficult balancing act for the Prime Minister.
An act this global affairs expert says Carney is hoping will pay off long term.
Part of the G7's role is to facilitate cooperation on some very big issues like the global economy, critical minerals, transnational crime, and to deal with those issues, you do need big actors around the table.
But there are limits to that strategy. The Prime Minister's office says extending G7 invitations to Russia and China are out of the question. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, a new art installation at London's Kensington Gardens is encouraging visitors to do more than just look. Along with the colorful castle and yellow slide, there are workstations set up where kids and even adults can unleash their imagination. Professional Lego builders are on site to help visitors overcome any creative blocks. Stay with us. We have another look at your news and a final look at your forecast after the break. Welcome back. The Saskatchewan Roughriders were back on the practice field Wednesday, but they were indoors once again to avoid the wildfire smoke. The team is preparing for their first road trip of the year. They will be in Hamilton to face the Ticats on Saturday. AJ Ouellette and Roland Milligan were two key players who left last week's contest early with injuries and did not return. Head coach Corey Mace gave an update on their status.
Yeah, I mean, they've been cleared to practice, right? So we'll still take a look at everything and see if they're good to go for the game. But to get these guys out here to be able to see if they can, that's been a positive for us.
I mean, we're solid. Just take off day by day, improve yourself, fix the mistakes that we had during the games.
Ouellette and Milligan were listed as full participants in practice. Running back Thomas Bertrand-Hudon did not practice Wednesday. That may open up a spot for newly signed running back Kadeem Carey. Kickoff on Saturday in Hamilton is at 5 p.m. And here's hoping, Helena, we have some good weather for the Riders' flight to take off and head to Steeltown.
Yes, Ethan, we have some good weather in store, warm conditions. Let's take a look at the forecast for the city of Regina. This weekend, we will see temperatures hovering around 25 degrees, just slightly above seasonal for this time of year, and the sun will be out all throughout the week, even as a chance of rain comes into the city around Sunday and Monday. But into next work week, the chance of rain goes down, and we're seeing temperatures returning back to that 25-degree mark. A few breezy days here and there as well, but we are seeing overnight lows above seasonal for this time of year in the low teens. Saskatoon will have a sunny week as well, and temperatures hovering around the 25-degree mark. A bit of a breezy way to end the work week. And as we get into the weekend, you may want an umbrella because rain is forecasted all throughout the weekend. Into next work week, though, we're seeing that sun come back out, bringing us our nice conditions around 25 degrees. And overnight lows will be above seasonal, again, hovering in those low teens. So, Ethan, if you want to plant a garden, you have your overnight lows above seasonal and lots of rainfall, so conditions are definitely looking good in the province.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people counting on that rainfall you mentioned too. So a little rain, a little sun, looking pretty good for the gardeners.
A little bit of everything.
All right, Helena, thanks so much.
Thanks, Ethan.
And that's it for us. For more news anytime, you can head to our website or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.